The FNCS Global Championship is just days away, so I wanted to do a preview video ahead of the monumental event. In this video, I will do an overview of the format, cover some notable storylines, and round it out with predictions. Join me as we get set for the biggest Fortnite LAN of the year. I wanted to start with a brief overview of the tournament, and I'd like to emphasize brief. The truth is, if you're a competitive Fortnite fan with any interest in the Global Championship, then you probably already know what's happening. In any case, it goes like this. The FNCS Global Championship lasts from October 13th to the 15th in Copenhagen, Denmark. It begins with an upper bracket where 50 teams that qualified from FNCS Majors 1, 2, and 3 will compete in 5 matches. The top 25 will advance to the grand finals, while the bottom 25 will drop to the lower bracket for one last opportunity to qualify for grands. On day 2, the bottom 25 from day 1 and the 25 teams who qualified through the last chance major will compete in 5 games to determine which 25 teams will fill out the grand finals. The grand finals will occur on day 3 with a 6-game format and $4 million up for grabs. With the format out of the way, let's discuss some notable storylines to watch over the weekend. There are many, but here are a few that stuck out to me. The most critical storyline to discuss from a duo standpoint is whether Cammy and Setty will repeat as FNCS LAN champions. Last year, it was a boat race to the finish, with Queasy and Vino taking over on day 1 and Cammy and Setty remaining consistent. It ultimately came down to the final match, where Vino and Queasy challenged Cammy and Setty and attempted to win the tournament by force.
At that time, what is this? What is this? Queasy, Vino are trying to take it by force!
You only win in one way, and that's taking that crown! Vino is here! Queasy is here! Down goes Setty! It's a big trade! It's a one-on-one! This has to be one of the most explosive head-to-heads we have ever seen! Vino has to get this thirst here. He knows now it means everything. We might as well seal this deal. Why wait?
Bubble shield going out. He's trying to bait it. He's trying to bait the revive so that way Cammy might peek. Breaks through the wall. Shot's gonna be fired! And they do it! Become Legends are on top!
Become Legends has officially managed to win the biggest fight of their careers.
Ultimately, we know how that went. But had it swung the other way, who knows what could have happened. It could very well have been Vino and Queasy's win. Regardless, all eyes are on the Polish duo as they hope to repeat. Let's not forget that Cammy just won Gamers 8 in July, so clearly, nerves and expectations do not affect either of these players. Next, let's discuss the mid-match objectives. This edition was made in Chapter 4, where players could capture the Rift Island POI and earn an additional 15 points. And now the forecast towers yield 3 points. It only happens once per game and has massive leaderboard implications. This aspect of the scoring system will be critical, as any team that muscles their way through the others and adds the 15 points could be the difference between winning $300,000 or $400,000. The Rift Island POI will be especially vital as the tournament winds down, because it may see more action than early in the going when players are trying to find their footing. The quote-unquote best region debate dates back to Fortnite's infancy. Many believe Europe to be the best, which adds another unique twist to these global LAN events. Cammy and Setty won last year, silencing the NA Central Truthers, but alas, this is another year and another $4 million tournament. Let's not forget that Europeans are on their home turf, with many not having to travel long distances and reacclimate to the environment. Does that put EU at an advantage? It's hard to say, but it certainly makes the experience less stressful. Beyond the travel aspect, we have all 6 competitive regions represented here, with many of the best players of all time in the mix. While Europe is unquestionably favored, it will all come down to who can make the right plays at the right time. To round out this video, I want to offer some predictions. Predictions are impossible in Battle Royale games, as many of you probably know. Players can deviate from their plan at any time, or the game could simply not swing in their favor due to RNG. Regardless, I've come up with a list of teams I expect to reach the grand finals and compete for at least a top 5, if not a win. There's no other team to begin with than Cammy and Setty. If there were Vegas odds, these two would be the favorites. They dominate LAN events and have been a duo for some time. There is no reason to believe these two can't go back to back. I will say that I'm curious to see how the 6-game format may work against them. Cammy and Setty usually remain consistent throughout a tournament and win with that consistency. Could a 6-game format lessen their chances to win? We will have to find out. Again, nothing different here from the last LAN event. Vino is perhaps the most impactful fragger in the game, and Queasy's brain is unlike any other. While the 6-game format could hurt some teams, I don't believe Vino and Queasy is one of them. These two win matches. It's a foregone conclusion. It's certainly not a hot take by any stretch, but I could see Vino and Queasy hoisting the trophy on Sunday. Thomas HD and Malabuka are in the same realm as the previous two teams. There may not be a more raw combination of talent than these two. I would wager money on them to have the most eliminations when all is said and done. And as a result, I could see them contending and perhaps even winning, which would be Thomas HD's first FNCS triumph. I'd be remiss if I didn't include some North American duos, and look no further than Kanata and Agers. It's amazing that Kanata has been at this since Season X and just won his first FNCS title. This team has a strong chance at a top 5, considering how long they've been a duo, and just from a pure talent standpoint. The last team I'll mention here is Rise and Iamzo. These two have been on a quiet tirade since becoming a duo, finishing 3rd, 4th, and 3rd in the last 3 majors. They also just won a Cash Cup, so this season seems to fit their playstyle. I'm expecting a strong performance out of these two at the Global Championship. In all honesty, it's tough to predict what will unfold in Denmark, but one thing is for sure. These players will bring everything they have to capture that $1 million grand prize. Who is your pick to win the LAN? Let me know in the comments section and subscribe for more Fortnite content.